Hey, what's going on out there? Sterilization Station family, also family for breaking into Sterile Processing podcast. My name is Bill Rishell, and welcome to you to another episode here at the Sterilization Station podcast. Really glad for you to come back for another episode. Really want to dive into a really great topic today. As you're aware, on the Sterilization Station, we are here to motivate, empower, and inspire those in sterile processing. Today, we have a great episode. We're really thinking about those techs that are overlooked, tired, even kind of exhausted in sterile processing. As many of you know, we're working long hours. We are putting in a lot of effort to make sure that we can create some successful patient outcomes, right? We like to talk about creating these successful patient outcomes in sterile processing. Question I want to ask you: have you ever driven home after a shift? You sat in your car and you just felt drained, right? Not just physically, but even mentally. Like no matter how hard you worked, right, it's still not enough. There's so much work. Sometimes in sterile processing, we deal with the lack of recognition, right? No real appreciation for what we do in sterile processing. And deep down, you're thinking, is this really it for me? And if that's you, I need you to hear this episode today. Remember, you are not stuck. You are just in a transition. I remember talking to so many sterile processing techs over the years. And I remember this lady, she told me one time, she said, Bill, I'm doing everything right. I show up early. I work hard. I care. But I still am at home after shift feeling like I'm invincible. And that really hit me because I mentor so many SPD techs, try to inspire, like I said, motivate, encourage those in sterile processing. Not just because that's not just her story, but that's a lot of your stories out there, right? We're overwhelmed, underpaid. But listen, in this field, you can be doing life-saving work and you can still feel like nobody really sees you, right? But let me tell you something real quick. Invincible work still has visible impact. Let's think about that one more time. Invincible work. When you feel like you're not being seen, recognized for all the hard work, your work still has visible impact. Every instrument you touch, every tray you inspect, from assembly to packaging and prep to sterilization to sterile storage where you're putting it away to building that case cart and that emergency procedure, every process you follow, every SOP that you nail, every IFU, right? Instruction for use that you make sure you do right. There's a patient that's safer because of you. Maybe someone didn't come behind you and pat you on the back, but listen, someone's relative, loved one, cousin, wife, grandparent, child is better because you did something. As I always like to say on Sterilization Station, we are superheroes without a cape, but we get to wear scrubs. So always remember what you do has a direct impact on someone's family members and even yours. So let's think about the reality of what we do, right? This isn't just emotional. This is backed up by reality. In healthcare, studies show that 40% of support roles experience burnout. I remember doing an episode when I first started last year with Hank Balch from Beyond Clean. We talked about burnout and sterile processing. We talked about Bill's top reasons why burnout exists. Sterile processing is one of the most high pressure, detail-oriented environments that's behind the scenes, right? High responsibility, cleaning, contaminated instruments, sterilizing under time pressure to make sure we beat deadlines and make sure we're able to turn these trays over to save someone's life. Low recognition, right? You feel like no one's appreciated, no one knows who you are. Now, I want to call a timeout. There are some physicians out there. There are some nurses. There are some tech CEOs, CFOs. There are some people in the C-suite who know what you do. And they will let you know. I'm always reminded at Children's Hospital, Oakland, and now it's UCSF. I'll never forget Dr. James Betts. He would always buy us lunch on Saturdays. He would always say thank you. We appreciate those doctors that take the time to recognize sterile processors, because what we do is hard physical work. We're back there, we're grinding. In some ways, it feels like an assembly line. You're cleaning, you're packaging, you're sterilizing, you're storing, you're going through the motion. But what we do is so important, right? So we think about burnout. 40% of support roles experience burnout. You think another thing is constant demand, right? You're constantly just going through the motion of trying to get these trays ready, maybe loaner trays, or you're turning over, you're working under deadlines. And so if that's you, if you've been feeling overwhelmed, remember one thing: it's not because you're weak. It's because you're a real person and things happen, right? It's so important to make sure we're really improving our mental health. And it's not because you're weak. It's because the job is real. But you know what? There's one thing that you can do, and that is you can really control your mindset. You think about, you are a CEO, Mr. Parker, Michael E. Parker, a great person who's had a great impact on my life, helping entrepreneurs grow, also helping you as an intrapreneur. That is a person in a corporation, building that corporation. Please, if you're interested, in the description, click the link if you'd like to learn more. You can try out some of the memberships there. It's a very good community of people. If you're looking for a community that's going to continue to elevate your mindset, and that's where I turn to elevate my mindset, is in the Uplift CEO app. Click in the description and you can try it for 14 days for free. Now, because you have two choices, right? You can let your environment drain you, or you can let it develop you. Like Les Brown said, when life knocks you down, try to land on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up. We appreciate Les Brown, excellent motivational, inspirational person in the entrepreneur space. This moment right now, this frustration, this feeling of being overlooked, it's not here to break you. It's here to build your next level. Remember, you are in the development stage. You think about a surgical instrument comes in, they're making that metal, that stainless steel, they're taking it through a forging process, a lot of heat, a lot of pressure, a lot of beating it down, putting it, cooling it, beating it down, cooling it, getting it to a place, sharpening it where it can be able to be sharpened. Remember, right now you're going through a sharpening phase. Maybe you're being sharpened. You're a student who hasn't landed the first job. You are being forged for success. You are being sharpened for success. So be patient, continue to do what you're doing, and remember those people that you are supporting, the team you're with. Find those team members that pour into you. Find those team members who are encouraging you and motivating you in your space. So let me challenge you a little today, right? What if this isn't where you're meant to stay, but it is where you're meant to grow? Maybe this isn't your end all be all, but it's a place you can grow. We grow as we go, because the truth is, some of you are not stuck. You're just not positioned yet. Think about when you go to surgery, they position the patient, right? Anterior, posterior, lateral, all the different positioning, right? They're getting you ready. You're just not positioned yet. There's a difference. There's a difference between being stuck and not being positioned. And if you feel like you need to find your positioning, reach out. We're here at the Sterilization Station to help you. Don't ever feel like you're stuck, you're burned out, you need an ear. Always know Bill Rishell is here. Sterilization Station at Outlook.com. You can reach us on LinkedIn. You haven't tapped into it. You haven't tapped into what is your true position. You haven't tapped into the certifications. Maybe you have more certifications. There's more networking you can do. Your net worth is your network, and your network is your net worth. Remember, networking is so important. I have had so many episodes on this. Please look in the library on YouTube. The strategy, the confidence, that takes you to the next level. And that's okay, because that's something you can change, right? Confidence can come by being around the right people. Find people in the department that really have sterile processing in their hair, their shoes, their clothes, everywhere. It's who they are, because that's something that can change you Maybe your environment, maybe the environment is bad in your department, but what about the environment in your mind? Create that environment in your mind, right? We think, we feel, we act. As Mr. Parker said, you are CEO. So how are you acting is based upon how you're feeling, which is connected to your thoughts. Reverse the process and have the right thoughts. So listen up. If you're tired of trying to figure this out on your own, if you're a new grad trying to break into sterile processing and you're not getting those callbacks, or maybe you're already working in SPD, but just want to go ahead and give some shout out to some of our advertisement. We have MedTech over here in Hayward, California, big supporter of Sterilization Station. If you're looking to break into sterile processing and you need to get your formal education, please make sure you check out medtech.com where you can actually get that dialed in. And if you're tired of trying to figure this out on your own, Sterilization Station does offer a coaching program for students and new grads trying to break into the industry. Or maybe you're already in SPD, but you're meant for more and you just don't know how to get there. Go to sterilizationstation.org and click on the coaching tab and we can get you started. So I want to leave you grounded on something deeper. I love to read the scriptures, and the scripture says in Jeremiah, it says, "For I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, and plans to give you a hope in the future." That means where you are right now is not the end of your story. There's more for you, more growth, more opportunity, more elevation. So remember, the next time you feel overlooked, the next time you feel like quitting, remember this: you are not behind, you are not forgotten, and you definitely are not finished. Another motivational speaker says, everybody wants to be a beast until it's time to do what beasts do. This is your moment to push. If you want to be a beast in sterile processing, if you want to be the greatest of all time or the GOAT, stay focused, stay committed, and most importantly, stay hungry for growth. This is the Sterilization Station, where we just don't work in sterile processing, we rise through it. We'll see you soon in the next episode. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And do not let burnout burn you out. Remember, it's just a thought process. Think, feel, and act. And make sure you're thinking the right things. Make sure you're feeding the right things. We'll see you soon. Stay sharp. Stay sterile. This is the Sterilization Station signing out.